from the first floor to the top floor, and it's totally engulfed.
Oh, yeah, flames probably 50 feet above the top floor at times. I mean, total inferno, and the building didn't collapse because, again, if fire melted steel, your kerosene heater would melt. The grate in your fireplace would melt. You know, fire doesn't melt steel. But anyway, it's an amazing story, and I've seen it in absolutely none of the mainstream press this week. I mean, you had to go to InfoWars or something like that to get any information, but it's a great story. Go ahead and call our guest. We're going to be joined today with Angelique Landry of North Carolina CourtWatch.com. So you might hear a little bit of the beats because we can't take commercials today, but that means we've got a little extra time. Again, the website, realnewsradio.com, if you'd like to get some.
It is not necessary to dial a 1 or 0.
If you'd like to get some information on what Brian was reporting.
Call again.
It is always, people, I urge you to go to your computer, go to google.com, look this information up. You know, take 3 minutes out of your day from The Price is Right.
If you would like to make a call, please
Dancing
hang
with
up.
the Stars.
Again, we'll be joined with Angelique Landry. NCCourtWatch.com is the website. You want to just answer? Yeah.
Hello?
Hey, is this Angelique? Hello, can you hear me? Where's Landry? Are you with me, Ms. Landry?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here at the station, so we are live on the radio right now.
Okay.
I want to thank you for joining us today on The Real News. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Doing well.
To begin, just tell our listeners a little bit about your organization, NCCourtWatch.com, and maybe how you became involved in this type of activism.
Okay. NC Court Watch is a grassroots organization for the people, by the people. Our mission is to ensure that the system represents the best interests of families in our communities and not the best interests of special interest groups. North Carolina Court Watch is made up of families, concerned citizens, advocates, and officers of the court who have either been involved in court cases or have ongoing cases or have witnessed what goes in our court system. We are working to bring public awareness to people about what is going on in our courtrooms and basically help each other, share our experiences with each other. We are currently working on report cards for the judges to let the people know, hey, this is what the judges are doing in your courtroom, this is what the attorneys are doing, and to keep any judges that are doing their jobs well on the bench and to get any corrupt ones off the bench. This past election, we endorsed 13 candidates for judge in the district court, the Court of Appeals, and also the North Carolina Supreme Associate Justice. And none of those candidates were voted in or, kept their seats. Let's see what else. The reason I got involved is because I have a court case that started in 2001 in family court. I've never been married, so anyone can get drug into family court. You don't have to necessarily be married or divorced to go in there. And my case is still open. I had to learn how to be my own attorney with. I've filed 3 appeals to North Carolina Court of Appeals. I currently filed 1 appeal to the Supreme Court. And I guess that's kind of a little bit of a wrap there.
I know that you had, in your website, you had said that some people are being denied the right to public defenders. Could you go into that and maybe explain a little bit of how that's working for our listeners?
Yeah, people are being denied public defenders. That actually happened to me as well, even if you're eligible to have a public defender. And if you are appointed one, they mysteriously lose the paperwork. And then when you go back to court, the judge will make you proceed without a public defender, without representation. And most of them will not grant a continuance. And that's one of the things that we are working to help people. If they deny you a public defender, we've got some solutions to make sure that you do not have to go through the process without representation.
Are you finding in your work that there is a lot of corruption in the court systems there in Mecklenburg County? I mean, does money buy justice?
Most of the time, yes.
Are judges writing bad court orders? I know one of the things that you had stated is that there's really no accountability, and I like your idea of report cards for the judges. We might need to start some report cards for our county commissioners and some of that here in Iredell County, but our judges, there's really no accountability when they make bad court orders, that type of thing?
No, there's not. They just say that the judge erred. Like, if the judge writes a bad court order in the trial court, and then you take it to the appellate court, and it's a huge process. It's extremely expensive. Most attorneys will charge you about $10,000 plus just to take your case. I've heard cases costing up to $150,000 just to have your case heard in the appellate court. Then you say you win, and then the appellate court says, okay, the lower court erred, we reverse the decision. Then you take they write a mandate, which is sent back to the trial court. So you go right back in front of the same judge that wrote the first bad order and expect them to do what they're supposed to do correctly this time around. And there's no consequence for them. Nothing happens to the judge. They continue on.
Angelique, this is Brian. Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, great, thanks. I'd just like to get your perspective. One thing Farron and I always run into is people saying, well, what am I going to do? You know, I'm just one person. I can't do anything to make a difference. And also, I mean, you're a fellow activist. We're both, all of us here actually are members of We Are Change North Carolina. And it's obvious that, yes, we all can make a difference as individuals. What is your perspective on that?
We're asking people to come on the website, which is nccourtwatch.com, and go to the contact join page and join the group. There's also a Yahoo group that they can join. Currently, some of the legal community is trying to take our right to vote for judges away, so we've put up a petition on our homepage, which again is www.nccourtwatch.com. And we're asking people to sign the petition. But basically, if they get involved in our organization, we'll share information with them. I'm sure they'll be bringing information to the group. But as a group, we can unite and stand up to the corruption and stop it and help to bring positive reform back to the system so they can do something. Because as a unit, as a strong force, we can do something. It's hard to do something individually, but you can do it as a group.
You are also involved in educating people about the Federal Reserve banking system and the Council on Foreign Relations, to name a few, on your website. Your activism goes beyond just the court system in Mecklenburg County, doesn't it?
Yes. I also want people to be aware of the big picture, what's going on, because the corruption is not just in the courthouse, it's all throughout, all the way from the bottom to the top.
What is your views right now with our march into socialism and this economic collapse that we're witness to now?
It's very upsetting, and I'm doing what I can to join with those organizations as well that are helping to, stop some of those actions from happening. But our main focus right now is the NC Court Watch group is Mecklenburg County, because we have to decide, okay, we can only, do so much, so let's start somewhere. So that's our focus. And then we eventually want to cover North Carolina, and we're hoping that the other states will see what we're doing and pick up from there.
Since you began, what has been some of your accomplishments, or maybe some of your biggest surprises since you started monitoring the court systems there in Mecklenburg County?
I think one of the biggest surprises to me was that when we went out to the election polls and were working the polls, that we saw judges come out there and they were actually, campaigning for themselves, and we had